Cherie Hansen here. I will invite you to come on my YouTube channel and to subscribe if you are interested. And I would also invite you to come on to my cheriehansen.com blog, which has well over 72,000 subscribers at this time. I think it's close to 74. I want to talk today about what's normal. I had the joy of studying anthropology and cultural behavior when I was in university, and I learned a few things. I learned about how what is considered normal behavior is socially normal behavior. In other words, it's for our society or our social group or our cohort. To give you an example, let's talk about forget-me-nots, stirrup pants, and electric bicycles. When I first moved into my neighbor had some forget-me-nots in his yard. And I looked at them and I thought, oh, forget-me-nots, I'd forgotten. I'd forgotten about them. And so I went out and I planted some when it was spring. Then the next year, 3 or 4 other people in our neighborhood planted forget-me-nots. And what happened was, over time, they became normal. People had forget-me-nots in their garden. Why did that happen? Because somebody else had forget-me-nots in their garden and you saw it, and the more you saw it, the more you came to understand it as a normal thing to do. The same thing is true of stirrup pants. I remember when they first came in, I'm looking at them going, what? And then at that time, I was still young enough to get very heavily influenced by what others did. And it's like, oh my God, those are such great stirrup pants. And then I would go out and I would look, and there would be very few stirrup pants at the stores until it became socially normative behavior. Once it was there, you could find stirrup pants everywhere. And oh, by the way, they're back. Electric bicycles, the same thing. Some people early on had electric bicycles and they were considered to be very strange or, out there, or what is the point? And now it's become a social norm because so many people have electric bicycles that we are seeing them all the time. Now, the problem with socially normative behavior is it transitions over time. So if you look at things like child labor, it's normal for poor people to have to send their children into the mill or down into the mines in order to stay alive. And nobody thinks anything about it. That's just what poor people do. They have to serve the rich manufacturers if they're going to survive. Slowly over time, this is interesting, in the UK, the laws to protect pets came in first. Well before the child labor laws came in. And as we change as a culture, what we see around us constantly influences us. So if we see that we are supposed to treat a certain color or class of people as lesser than, as subhuman, it's normal for us to think it's normal. But as the society transitions, we get to a place where we go, that's just not right. So one of the things that is a big problem when you see people acting badly, when you see people not respecting one another, is it is actually, if you can think about this, it's like a river, and there is a river that's coming in and feeding into it, which is muddy and dark and full of pollution. It's actually feeding into our cultural river. And we get to the point where we are simply accepting it as normal behavior. This is where mindfulness practice comes in, because if you have mindfulness practice, you're always looking at things based on your ethics. In other words, do I believe that all people should have protection and care and shelter and water? I don't care what the fancy new whatever is, or what other people are adapting as their norm. That's not going to influence me, because I'm really grounded in my own sense of what is compassionate behavior. And that's what I wanted to speak about today, is just because you see it around you does not mean it's okay. Always fall back to how can we best take care of everyone in our society. Thank you.